Hello friend, welcome to KBS Technocraft Python tutorial day 7. Today we are going to explore classes and objects in Python. In this we are going to understand what is class, how to define a class and how to create an object of that class. Then define a class with multiple function and call using the object. Python is a object-oriented programming language that support the creation of classes and objects. Classes are a blueprint of creating objects, while objects are instances of a class. In this tutorial, we are going to understand the basic of Python classes and objects with detailed code example. So the first example which we are going to do that we will create a very basic class by using class keyword. So whenever you are going to create a class in Python, you will have the class keyword and then class name. So I will give my test class, my test class, and then colon, and then name equal to, I will put ABS. So this is how we can declare a class. So define a class. Uh, Next step is if you want to use that class, then what we can do, we have to create a object of that class. So object object of class. Okay. What we need to do that we need to create, let's say consider obj my test. You can give any name, class equal to, then I will have this class instance here. Okay, and then if I want to access the name object, then this object dot name. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to print and then dot name. Okay, so this code are very clear. I have created a class called my test class, and then I defined attributes name, and I initialized with some value, and then I created an object of that class, and then I just try to print it. So we will run this code. Okay, so we can see that we are able to get KBS tutorial here. In the next program, what we are going to do that we are going to create a program where we are going to have more attributes, and also we are going to initialize those attributes using the program. So let me create that program. So in this program, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a person class here, and person is having two attributes, is called name and age. If you see here, we are initializing. This is how in Python you will initialize the attributes defined in a particular class. So here, if you see, the class has two attributes, is called name and age. So we need to pass in this constructor name and age, and the first is the self. That means the self object of this particular class, or it will have the instance of this particular class, and that name and age the parameter here. Now what I have done it here, I have created a object of this class, and I can define, okay, at P1, and then I pass John as a name and age 36, and I'm trying to print name and age. So this is how we can create a class and initialize the attributes by using this constructor, and then we can, when we are creating object, we can pass those attributes value, and then we can use it within our class. Okay, so let me run it. I will claim it and I will run it. If I run it, you can see that here name and age are displaying here. Okay, let's move to the next example. In this example, we are going to create a, attributes with function. That means a class will have multiple attributes and also it will have a function. And then we'll see how we can call that function using the objects. So in this, first I will explain what I'm doing it here. In this, I have created a car class. In this car class, there are three attributes called make, model, and year. And then we are passing through that constructor, make, model, and year. And then also we have, this is the function. This is the function which is defined in this class. This function, what does it do? It used to take the self instance and then it used to read from there year, make, and model is just concatenate it and return back to that. Now let me close this. Okay, now what we are doing it here, I'm creating this car instance here. In this line, I'm creating a car instance, and then I'm printing make, model, year individual attributes here, like how I have printed in the previous example. And then I'm trying to call the function available into the class. This is car class. So I'm trying to call the function get description here. So object name dot object dot function. Now let me run this code. Okay, so if you see here, we are passing Toyota, then we are passing make as a Camry, and then we are passing the year. So we are passing here, and then first is a make, that is Toyota, model is Camry, and then year, and then inside this what we are doing it, we are concatenating year, make, and model. So this all three value 2022 Toyota and Camry is displaying here. Okay, let me quickly go to the other example where we will have a multiple functions in a particular class. So we are going to define a class called circle, and there in that we are going to define two functions. One to calculate the area of the circle, and one is to calculate the circumference of the circle. So I'll type it here and then we will see this program first and then we will run it here. This circle is a class here, and then we are defining initialization. That means for calculating the area and circumference, what we require a radius. So that's the reason we have defined attributes called radius, and then we have passed that attributes in constructor here. Then to calculate the area, we are just, this is the formula. I think everyone knows that, but I will try to write it here. So basically, the formula for calculating the area is r pi r square. So this is pi. Pi means 3.14, and r is radius. So this is how we can define the square of that particular radius. And then circumference is equal to 2 pi r, 2 multiplied by pi value and then radius. So to call these functions, what we are doing, we are creating a object of this particular class by passing 5 as a radius, and then we are printing area and circumferences. So I will run this code and we'll see the output. So if you see, if you calculate this, this is the area and this is the circumferences which calculated. So I hope for the basic understanding class, I try to address it, the basic operations of the class and objects. Okay, if you have any issue with the environment configuration, I would highly recommend you to go through the day one article and tutorial where I have mentioned it. That's all for today. And if you like, please like, subscribe, and share Thank you.